Hello, everybody. I have got Nick here with me today, and we are going to talk a little bit about disruption in the insurance industry and kind of take a look at incumbent insurers versus the startup world and get his thoughts on kind of where he thinks that true disruption is going to come from. So before we get started, Nick, would you mind giving everybody a quick introduction?
Sure. It's nice to be with you. My name is Nick Gerhart. Longtime insurance executive. At one time, I was an insurance commissioner in the state of Iowa. Most recently held a position where at a multi-line insurance company. And now I'm in transition, but I serve on several advisory boards. I do a lot of consulting, some angel investing in startups. So I kind of have my feet in both camps.
Wonderful. Thank you. So to get us started, my first question is kind of focused on your crystal ball. And when, over the last couple of years, we've heard a lot about disruption in the insurance industry. And a lot of times that question comes down to, do we think it's going to be kind of smart incumbent insurers that manage digital transformation that make that disruption, or the startup companies? So with your crystal ball, where do you think that true disruption is going to come from?
Well, I always say people hate transformation, but they love to have progress and things to be better, right? So I really think that some smart carriers are doing a tremendous job. I think that some of these carriers are really going to shine. I always say what's happened in the last few months with COVID-19 is really an acceleration. And, if you had plans that were 5 years out, 10 years out, you better get them going today or even yesterday would have been better. So, the whole idea of a long-term business plan, strategic planning process for some of these incumbent carriers probably needs to change a little bit. But I do think some of them are going to do very well. And they're probably going to do very well because they're going to partner with smart startups, smart consulting firms, and outsource some of this stuff. So they'll do what they do very well, which is managing risk, spreading risk, and doing the insurance side of it, paying claims, et cetera. And they'll probably outsource a lot of the digital transformation to people that are smarter, better, and quicker at that. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of carriers go it on their own. I think you're going to see partnerships. And we already are seeing quite a few of these partnerships. Now, for the startups, it'll be really interesting to watch some of those. The ones that have gone full stack and are kind of carriers have a huge leg up on this because they don't have the legacy system issues. So that's pretty good, but they don't have the insurance expertise either. So we'll give and take there. So we'll see how they are at pricing the risk. But there's a lot of great startups out there, and I don't even want to call some startups because they're out for 3, 4, 5 years now, that are partnering with these incumbents, and they're able to make the incumbents look pretty digital savvy, so to speak. And as consumers, we really don't even know it's a third party doing most of it because it's a lot of white label stuff. So I think some carriers are going to struggle and probably be marginalized and probably shrink market share. I think some are going to do pretty well, and I think some of them are really moving ahead with the right partnerships.
Wonderful. So then I'm going to kind of switch gears and ask you if you had one little nugget of advice for a incumbent insurer that's kind of embarking on digital transformation. What would be your suggestion to make sure that they're setting themselves up for success?
Start now. I mean, you have to actually get out there. Don't be afraid to try things and fail, and realize that this is much more about iteration, change management, culture. All of those things are really important. And if you don't have people at the top that buy in and believe, then you're not going to get off the ground anyway. So, I think it's much more a cultural thing for most carriers, and kind of scared to try new things. So don't be afraid to try new things, and hopefully you can be somewhere where I always say you can have fast learn. I don't like fast fail, but I like fast learn. So try to always learn something too.
I like that saying. And then to kind of flip that question and ask the same thing for startups, what is your wisdom to provide to them?
I guess for the startups, it's always around, know who you are and what you don't know. It's okay if you're new to insurance. It's not rocket science, but that's where it's really smart to partner with some of the incumbent firms, especially if you're looking to be a service provider and kind of not a full stack competitor to them. So partnerships are smart. Learn as much as you can. Understand it's a highly regulated industry. So hopefully you can take some time to understand that you don't want to run afoul of regulations and do it well. But my biggest advice is, again, learn a lot. understand the business, and make smart partnerships and leverage those carriers because they have the expertise you do not, probably.
Wonderful. Well, thanks for joining me and offering your insights to the world. And please reach out to Nick or I if you guys have any questions, and have a wonderful day.